I'm starting with this image of myself truing a wheel, not using a truing stand. This is to encourage you to think about whether or not you actually need one. So, yeah, if you are having problems with your wheels, so your rim brakes are squeaking or the bike is shaking at speed, then you're probably going to need to true your wheel. But saying that, you can often get away with just truing it in the bike, especially if you're using rim brakes. If you're using disc brakes, it's even less important to have a really true wheel. This would, unless you're like doing time trials of some kind. Most of the time, if it's off by a few millimeters, it's not a big deal. And as you can see here, you can get away with truing it without using a stand. But you're probably already convinced that, yeah, you want a stand. That's why you're watching this video. So let's get to some various Park Tool stands. These are the two that we have in the shop right now. This one on the left is the TS8. It's what's known as a home mechanic truing stand, and not well loved by the guys in the shop or me. If you look, you can actually see there's dust all over it because we don't end up using it very often. The one on the right is the TS2. They made this forever, for like 35 years, from about this 2000 or till about 2010. And the reason why they made a new model is because this one has shorter arms. So when the 29-inch wheels came into use, they needed to upgrade it. You can buy extensions for these things for about 65 bucks. That's the hole to bolt it to either the stand or your bench. You can also put that one into a bench vise, which is really nice. You don't have to have it always set up if you don't have a lot of room in your shop. The TS8, not so. So the TS8, you're going to need to buy the stand. By the way, the stands are about $65 or about $73, or you can bolt it to your bench. So I would definitely recommend this over the TS8. And it's amazing how well they hold their value. They're still, you can get these used for about 250 bucks. This is where our truing stand lives, right underneath the bench vise. So when we need it, we just throw up there and get to truing. This is the stand that I use at home. This is from my home shop. Bought this new REI for about 300 bucks. I think it was on sale. I'd recommend REI if you're going to buy a new stand, just because they give you that 10% back. So you can buy other merchandise with it. You got your typical other outlets, Amazon, Walmart, and then there's also a bunch of good online sales as well. So again, the TS2, these arms are shorter. And like I mentioned, you can buy extensions. The other things that I added on this were this bit here. It's just got a quick release on it. So you can use this to true rotors. I have done in the past. As you see in my little intro, I'm truing the rotor by hand. It's because I found in practice, while you can really get this down to like within a millimeter, it doesn't work as well as when it's actually on the bike. And what I learned in practice and also in classes when I took bike repair classes is if you can get your rotor trued in about 5 minutes, and if you're talking about like what it costs in terms of time in a shop, then it's worth it. If it's any more than that, it's probably better off just to buy the new rotor and slap it on. So if I had to do this again, I wouldn't buy this. I rarely use it, and I just find I'm truing the rotors for my disc brakes on the bikes. These things here, so these are quick release, which I like. They're also, and what they're for is for my through axles. So if you have a bike with through axles, you can buy these. I think these were about 25 bucks. These have been discontinued. I like these. These are metal, they're spring loaded, and they're very easy to use. The new ones they have are the same price. I think they're also sell for about 25 bucks. They look plastic. To be honest, I haven't used them before. I'm just have my little spoke wrench just hanging off there. This is the Zero wrench. That's the one that's most common for nicer wheels. And let's talk bases for a minute. So if you look here, this is not a Park Tool base. So like I said, you can buy a Park Tool base. Make sure you buy the right one. They're plastic, they have little drawers in them, but you can make one. So this is just a piece of Formica, and then I just cut it to size, drilled it out, and painted the edges, and just slap the sticker on it that came with. If you're gonna buy new, the TS 2.3 is the one I'd recommend. That there, the 450.95 is the Park Tool MSRP. You can find it for a little bit more or less. Also now the through axle adapters are included. You can see there's some actually storage on the unit. And still no base though. So if you want the base, it's an extra 73 bucks, give or take. And then, or you can again hold it in the bench vise or bolt it to your bench. Notice these are powder coated. They stopped doing chrome on any of them. I like the chrome. I wish they had not discontinued that. Powder coating is okay though. So if you're going to go fancy, then the TS 4.3 is the one for you. Also, so these are bigger calipers, so you can use these for your fat tire bike. And the through axle adapters on these guys are actually integrated into the arms, which I do like, so nothing to attach. It's already there ready to go. Hey, still no plastic base though, and powder coated, not chrome. This is the flagship fancy one. Do you need it? Probably not. Full disclosure, I have not used either of these new stands, but I'm confident that if you decide to pull the trigger and buy a new one, you're going to be happy with either one of these. Park Tool's been making stands for over half a century, and I personally trust the brand.